Hello students, we already discussed about this first chapter, two big states up to the point of life of people. Now we move towards next point, Huan Stang. Here it is mentioned that he was a Chinese traveler who visited during the period of Harshvardhan, okay, and also studied Buddhism at Nalanda for 5 years. Okay, he visited different parts of India for 15 years, and then he wrote, he get the information from different kingdom, how this kingdom is managed, who were the rulers, what are their achievements, etc., etc. Everything they have wrote in their writings. Okay, from these writings we come to know that there are more than 100 mutt, Buddhist mutt in the Harshvardhan period. Okay, what is mutt? Now mutt is a place, it's a college or institution, we can say, where the spiritual knowledge is given. Okay, now here the next point is, when he returned to China from Central Asia, he taken some objects, that is relics, some books, some statues. Okay, these things he was taken from India to his country, and also he was attended the 6th religious congregation at Prayag also. Now from his book only we can get the some of the information that the people at that time were living very peacefully. Also they are obeying the rules of good conduct and justice. Cheating and breach of promise were not entertained, that means that is considered as sinful. Breach means not fulfilling the words which is said by some person or someone. If we are not fulfilling our words, that is known as breach. So these two, cheating and breach of promise, were considered as a sinful act, and these people were punished at that time. Okay, so now in this manner I complete my one state, we can say, that is Kannauj, which is ruled by Harshvardhan. Now we move to next state, that is Vatapi. Okay students, we will move towards Vatapi. Now Vatapi, we already discussed about the Harshvardhan and Pulkeshi II fight, that means battle, and in that battle we already know that who was the winner, who won the battle, that is Pulkeshi II. Okay, so that Pulkeshi II is belongs to Chalukya dynasty, which were ruled at that time in the southern India. So for that I will start the all explanation. Okay, now with the moving with the first point, everything is not mentioned in the textbook, so for clarity, a clear idea, I just made some points, so I discussing that points, so you will get the more idea about this dynasties. So the first, that is the Chalukya dynasty, was ruled over the large part of South India and the Central India in 6th to 12th centuries. At that time they made the capital of their empire as Vatapi, or also it is known as Badami in Karnataka. Okay, in the next map I will give you, you can see the next map. Okay, in this map you can see the extent of this Chalukya dynasty at that period. Okay, this map shows how many areas were under his control or his empire. So this is the extent of Chalukya dynasty. Now, okay, Chalukya dynasty was established by Pulkeshi I. Okay, that means it is formed by Pulkeshi I. Okay, in the next I will give you, okay, here you can see some chart like, okay, the kings of Chalukya dynasty. Fine, in that you can see that Pulkeshi I, he having two sons, that is One, the elder one was Kirtivarman and another was Mangalesh. Yeah, Kirtivarman and Mangalesh. And the Kirtivarman having one son called Pulkeshi II. Here I have not taken the all rulers who were ruled over the Chalukya dynasty, but only up to what we have to study in this chapter. Okay. Now here I give you some detail about all these kings, so you can get an idea about the all. So we start with the Pulkeshi I. Pulkeshi I was the founder of this Chalukya dynasty. Okay. He showed his supreme power by doing the Ashwamedh Yagna. Yeah, at that time he done Ashwamedh Yagna to show his supreme power to other states. Okay, when Pulkeshi I died, his son Kirtivarman ascended the throne. Fine, but when Kirtivarman died, Pulkeshi II was small, means he was not that much enough to handle all of the kingdom. So at that time, Kirtivarman's brother, whose name was here Mangalesh, okay, whose name was Mangalesh, got the throne. Fine. So he ruled at that time the Chalukya dynasty. At his ruling, he built lots of Vishnu temples. Okay, Vishnu temples, and he also succeeded to get over some part of South Gujarat also. At that time, it is known as Lata region. Fine. Meanwhile, when Pulkeshi II grew up, he forced him. Okay, he forced him to go into exile. Go into exile means to force someone to go outside the. Okay, so exile means to force someone to go outside his own country. So what happened? Here Mangalesh trying to force Pulkeshi II to go outside his own country and live, so that he will not become the next or future king of Chalukyas, because Mangalesh here wants that his son should become the next or future king of Chalukyas. But what happened? After some time, Pulkeshi II attacked on Mangalesh and succeeded to get the throne of Vatapi. Okay, that means Pulkeshi II won over Mangalesh and got the Chalukya kingdom. He was the great ruler and warrior also. He ruled his empire for 30 years. You can see in the textbook also, he ruled here 30 years. He also won many battles, and North Gujarat was also under control of him only. Pulkeshi gained control over Vengi region, which lay between Krishna and Godavari rivers in Andhra Pradesh. Okay. Now the next point here, it is mentioning armies of Harshvardhan. That means the fight between Harshvardhan and Pulkeshi II we already discussed in this chapter, but here it is only mentioned that he defeated from Pulkeshi II. Okay. Now here actually what happens, I will tell you. When the battle was going on between them, Harshvardhan saw that his peoples, lot of his people and elephants were killed in that battle, and he also know that there is no chance to win over Pulkeshi II. So what he decided? He decided to do one compromise with him. So he done a compromise with Pulkeshi II, in that both decided that they will never do such war in near future. Okay, so Narmada river become the border of King Harshvardhan's empire. Fine. Now he was not only, that means Pulkeshi II was not only a warrior but also a lover of arts. Lover of arts means, you can see in this picture that Ajanta cave is mentioned. Apart from that, according to the sources, the cave of Vatapi, Dharapuri all these were built in during his period only, and he was belonged to Hindu religion. So at that time the sources reveals that the Buddhism sect came into decline and the Jain sect, that is Digambar sect, gained popularity. Okay, now the last paragraph we will discuss the some some points related to Pulkeshi and Harshvardhan. Yeah, here the last paragraph it mentioned that both were the contemporary rulers. Now, what is the meaning of contemporary? Contemporary means something happening in the same time in the different part. Okay, but here it is said for the rulers. That means both were the rulers ruling in India in a different part in the same period. So in the south region we can say Pulkeshi II was ruling, and in the northern or central area Harshvardhan were the ruler. Okay, so that is why it is used as a contemporary word. Now if we compare both, so here we can see that Harsh fought less battle compared to Pulkeshi. Okay, Harsh fought less battle to Pulkeshi compared to Pulkeshi, and he died in 642 CE. Okay, here we already completed this chapter. Now I will discuss the question answers in brief and long both. Okay, after discussing these points, I also give you the PDF file of all these points. So whenever you will write the answers, it will be helpful to make the answers with the help of these points, and also you can utilize this video for writing the answers. Okay, so first we will discuss with the first question. Study the map of states of Harsh and Pulkeshi II and note down the major cities and rivers. In the same video, I have provided the map of Harshvardhan Empire and Pulkeshi II's empire. So with the help of both map, you can get the cities and rivers name. So you can easily write from that. Okay. So now we move to the second question. Here it is mentioned. What was the difference between Pulkeshi II and Harsh's personality? Okay, so what is that? That means you have to write some points related to Pulkeshi and Harshvardhan which suggest their personality. That means I am giving you some points which is written in the PDF file also. So from that you can choose and you can make your own answers. Like first point we can say about Pulkeshi was he was a valiant king. Okay, valiant king means a great warrior. He also won many battles, lover of arts, architecture also. We already discussed that during his period he also built lots of caves, temples and all. And he also tried to show his own dignity and loyalty. That means he always show his grandeur to others, that how prosper his kingdom when he was ruling at the time. Okay, so these are the some points for Pulkeshi II. Now we take some points for Harshvardhan also. Harshvardhan was a loyal king. Okay, he was so diligent towards his concern for his kingdom. That means we already studied in the chapter. He gave his daily routine work. You already divided. Okay, religious work, public welfare. So he was so diligent, so careful for his duties for his kingdom. And next we can take, he always tried to expand his kingdom. Okay, so these are some points for second answer. So from this you can take any two points of each and make your own answers. Now we move to third question. Why did Yun Stang carry books, relics and statue back with him to China? Okay, this answer is in the textbook itself, but we have to elaborate something. So I just give you some points. That the Chinese traveler Hunstang was a fond of Buddhism, because we already studied in that. We studied that he learned for 5 years in Nalanda University. Okay, then when he returned back to China, he took all books, relics and statues. Now we already understand what is relics, okay, and we understand about statue also. Now why he taken all this? Because he also got assistance from his scholars, that means Chinese scholars, to convert those books into Chinese language. Because when it is converted into Chinese language, then those Chinese people also can understand Buddha's religious purpose and all. Okay, so these are the points we can consider in the third answer. Now fourth question was, whom did Harsh think of freeing after ascending the throne? In Harshvardhan section, we already understand that when he got the throne, he decided to free her sister from Malwa king. So we can write this answer like. Now fifth question, name the plays written by Harshvardhan during his time. So he wrote 3 plays: Nagananda, Ratnavali and Priyadarshika. Sixth question, which caves were constructed during Pulkeshi II's regime? So in lastly Pulkeshi section, we already understand he built caves like Ajanta, Vatapi and Dharapuri. Okay, so here we concluded our brief questions. So you may write in this way. Also take the help of that points whatever I will give you in a PDF file. Now we will discuss about long answers, which is here. The first was, why was Harsh not able to defeat Pulkeshi II? So what was the reason behind that? So this was somewhat long answer, so I've given the points also, so you can expand and you can write here with the help of these videos and all. Pulkeshi's victory over King Harshvardhan was due to his huge military force. That means the sentence itself give the meaning that because of Pulkeshi's military or army force is huge, he won over Harshvardhan. Next, second point we can say, this halted Harsh's expansion towards south. So he could not expand his empire beyond Narmada. But he compromised with Pulkeshi for peace treaty. That means when he understood that he will not be able to overcome this war with Pulkeshi II. So he saw that here in the battle lots of elephants, army of elephants were died. So to stop that, he compromised with Pulkeshi. Okay, so in this treaty it is mentioned that both will never do battle against each other. Okay, so in this way the war stopped. Now next is our second question, long. Who was better king, Harsh or Pulkeshi? Give reason. That means we have to choose one and we have to give the reasons also why we have choose him. Okay, so here we already understand the chapter, we already understand the all aspects related to King Harshvardhan and Pulkeshi II. So from that we can understood that King Harshvardhan was better than Pulkeshi II. Okay, now how? That the reasons we have to mention. Like first reason, I say that King Harshvardhan was a loyal king. In his ruling period, peace and prosperity prevailed. Many scholars, artists and religious visitors came in his kingdom. The Chinese traveler also mentioned in his writing about his justice and generosity. Okay, we have already studied all this thing in our explanation part. Also his diligence about his welfare is also mentioned. That means how much he is caring his people. Okay, So these are the points, or these are the reasons why we choose King Harshvardhan, who was better than Pulkeshi II. Now we move towards the third question, that is, why was there war between Harsh and Pulkeshi II? Why did they not wage war again? That means the reason of the war and why the war will not exist afterwards. That means I will give you some points of this also. As Pulkeshi II was the powerful king of Chalukya dynasty, he wanted to expand his kingdom towards north also. Meanwhile, Harshvardhan also wanted to expand his kingdom towards south. As a result, there was a war between both of them. Harsh became upset by looking the terrible killing of his army of elephants. So, he decided to compromise with Pulkeshi II, and both decided not to do any such battles in near future. So this was the answer of question number 3 long. Now the last, fourth, I will discuss what are the difference between the present day university and the Nalanda University. So consider Nalanda University. We already studied in the chapter that it is one of the oldest university in the world. Apart from that, it is also linked or having the rich historical background. But if we consider the modern university in India, does not have any such infrastructure and academic courses like Nalanda University. So this was the point we can include in this last question. So this way we have discussed all the questions. Okay, so with the help of that PDF points and this video, you can start write the answers of all these questions. Thank you.